look, we can't compete with this woman.
And it couldn't be different to the men's 10,000 last night, could it? Where there was a real ding-dong from the gun virtually to tape, with Mo Farah coming out on top, of course. But he had plenty of company for the full journey of the 10 kilometres, well, for all but the last couple of hundred metres maybe, whereas Ayana here is so isolated. I'm sure she's not even aware of what's going on behind her. We'll glance up there at the big screen.
Yes, the championship record is going to elude her here. She's going to have to run 2 incredible last kilometres. She's got 5 laps of the track. She's now got, what, 1,900 metres to go, but she's looking untroubled. And you have to think that some of the training she must have done, I mean, you know rather more about preparation for 10,000 metre running than I, but some of the track work she must have been doing in certain bursts must have been at a rather more sustained pace than this. I mean, she's, despite the fact she hasn't competed, she's now having to run wide. Track etiquette, not quite what it used to be, Tim.
Well, it's not, but there are so many athletes in the field. These are much bigger fields than they used to be back in the 60s and 70s and 80s, when lapped athletes would etiquette deigned that they should move aside and let the leader come through. But there's too many of them really now in these races. I mean, don't let's forget there were 33 starters in this 10,000. It's a huge field. There's the battle for the minor medals. Tirunesh Dibaba doesn't look comfortable to me. The way those arms are swinging across her chest, it's almost as though she's got some sort of handicap. I don't know whether a back problem or what, but she looks really uncomfortable for me there in that yellow, green and red of Ethiopia. The arms.
It always was the way, but it's almost got a little bit too extreme, hasn't it?
I mean, she's almost touching her throat every stride with her left hand. It's bizarre.
Well, it's Nawawuna in second place at the moment. In third there was Tirop, as we focus again on Ayana, who is ploughing a victorious, if rather lonely, furrow. Well into the 9th kilometre. Interesting to get some sort of split on this one.
Well, her last 4 kilometres might have been 2:49, 2:51, 2:53, 2:54. So while she's slowing a little bit, she's still operating at a level way, way beyond the capability of anybody else in this race. She's going to win by a country mile.
Certainly well within herself. Coming now, and this time she sees on the clock 1,200 metres to go.
26:51 there, Martin. Another 70-second lap. She's slowed just a tad. I think that's forgivable. But what is bizarre is that she's in such great shape, and yet we haven't seen a race yet this year. So she hasn't been injured. She hasn't been struggling with some kind of other ailment. She's been training hard, sharpening up, preparing for this. Obviously been handled with kid gloves by the Federation, who wouldn't let her race in Monaco, as we heard a little while ago. But I'm utterly amazed that she hasn't come out and had one single race all summer. That is unique, I think, in the annals of distance running by a world record holder at 10,000 metres.
Irene Jeptai, the reigning world cross-country champion, is the first Kenyan to break from that chasing group. Tirunesh Dibaba, well, the elastic just been stretched a little, as it is the youngster Agnes Tirop, the 21-year-old, who's pushing things along at the front of that chasing group. Nawawuna now in third spot. Dibaba just regaining her equilibrium there, but Jeptai has gone from that race, so there are 3 women for 2 medals there, as Ayana up on her toes, casting her eye at the big screen where she sees the image of herself. She sees the split there at 9,200 metres. She's into the penultimate lap, and she is a huge distance ahead. It really is like one of those pursuit races in cycling, where you have the bikes at opposite ends of the track. And I tell you what, Ayana now is into the same half lap, if you know what I mean, as the 3 chasers. Her lead is almost 300 metres. Ayana now with less than 600 metres to go. The top bend, the next time she comes round here, she'll move into the home straight. Into that home straight now for the penultimate time. And she's getting closer and closer to the race for silver, who are now about 100 metres ahead of her on the track. Not much more. She's picking off lap runners. It has been another imperious performance from the Olympic champion, from the world record holder. She hears the bell, 24 laps completed, less than 400 meters to go. It's now Tirop, the 2015 World Cross Country Champion, in second place. Now Uruma in third. Dibaba, who's got quite a kick on her. She might have lost a bit of it with all that focus being on the road in recent times. But Ayana, in a class of her own, cantering, and it's nothing much more than that. Going down the back straight, into that final bend, and she's even finding just a little bit of a sprint. Running wide, there's Can, the Turkish athlete, and here she goes, the Olympic champion, adding the world 10,000 meter crown to it. Well, for many people, she's been gone too long, but she has returned with a substantial bang. Almaz Ayana is the world 10,000 meter champion, and she's done it like it was a training run. Tirunesh Dibaba trying to make it a 1-2 for Ethiopia. It's a stunning performance from a woman here whose focus these days is rather more on the road and the full marathon. And Tirop, well, beginning to show signs of discomfort, but just keeping touch there with Dibaba. Dibaba, 3 times the world champion at this distance. Tirop, can she get round past her? Well, I tell you what, Dibaba's not going to allow it. It's going to be a 1-2 for Ethiopia. Ayana wins it. Dibaba picks up silver. And it is